This is the temperature dependence of resistivity lab. In this experiment, you will learn how to use a Wheatstone bridge to measure resistance, and you will investigate the effective temperature on the resistance of a thermistor.
Here are some of the devices used in this experiment. This is a resistance substitution box. It will be used as a reference in this experiment. This is a galvanometer. It will be used to indicate the direction of current flow. This is the power supply for the Wheatstone bridge. Make sure not to use the wrong supply for the Wheatstone bridge. This is a resistor. You should measure the resistances of at least 2 of these in exercise 1 using the Wheatstone bridge. Connect the resistance substitution box across the terminals labeled reference. Connect the power supply and the galvanometer as indicated in the manual, again making sure that you use the proper power supply for the Wheatstone bridge. Attach the resistor to be measured across the terminals labeled sample.
Depressing the contact key at the center of the meter stick completes the circuit and causes the galvanometer to deflect one way or the other depending on which is larger, your sample or your reference resistance. First, set the resistance box as close as possible to the sample by changing the resistance until the direction of the galvanometer deflection changes.
Next, slide the contact key along the wire, depressing it at various points until there's 0 galvanometer deflection. If the galvanometer does not reach 0 deflection along the entire length of the meter stick, you've probably selected the wrong resistor value. Note that you can use the button on the galvanometer to increase the precision of this measurement.
In Part B, we'll be replacing the resistor with a thermistor and heating it to determine the effect that temperature has on its resistance.
Attach the block heater leads to the appropriate power supply. Place the thermometer and the thermistor in the holes in the block heater. Remove the sample resistor you measured in Part A and replace it with the thermistor leads.
When you turn on the block heater, the temperature of the thermistor will increase, and you can monitor it with the thermometer. Depending on how quick you are with the Wheatstone bridge, you may need to turn off the block heater from time to time to take measurements. At 5-degree increments, measure the resistance as you did in Part 1. Once you've reached the maximum temperature, turn off the block and let it cool. You can take additional data as it cools.
We hope you enjoyed the temperature dependence of resistivity experiment, and remember, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the physics lab.